Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we read from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 1, the opulence of the Absolute. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Puya Eva Mahabaho Shrinu Me Paramam Vacha Yat Te Aham Priyamanaya Vakshyami Hita Kamyaya. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Puya Eva Mahabaho. Puya Eva Mahabaho. Shrinu me paramam vachaha. Shrinu me paramam vachaha. Yateham priyamanaya. Yateham priyamanaya. Vakshami hitakamyaya. Vakshami hitakamyaya. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Puya Eva Mahabaho. Shrinu me paramam vachaha. Yateham priyamanaya. Vakshami hitakamyaya.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Shrinu me paramam vacha.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Yatite ham priyamanaya.
Yateham priyamanaya.
Vakshami hitakamyaya.
Vakshami hitakamyaya.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Yateham priyamanaya.
Yateham priyamanaya.
Vakshami hitakamyaya.
Vakshami hitakamyaya. Ataji.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Yateham priyamanaya.
Yateham priyamanaya.
Vakshami hitakamyaya.
Vakshami hitakamyaya. One more. Nandi Mukherjee.
Puya Eva Mahabaho.
Yara Mataji. Also. Okay, good. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Puyaha. Again. Eva. Certainly. Mahabaho, O mighty aunt. Shrinu, just here. Me, my, Paramam, supreme, Vachaha, instruction. Yat, that which. Te, to you. Aham, I. Priyamanaya, thinking you dear to me. Vakshyami, say. Hita kamyaya, for your benefit. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty aunt Arjuna. Mahabaho means mighty aunt, one. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Purport. The word Bhagavan is explained thus by Parashara Muni. One who is full in 6 opulences, who has full strength, that's the first one, full fame, second, third one, full of wealth, fourth one, full of knowledge, and full of beauty and renunciation, the 6th one, is known as Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. While Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all the 6 opulences. Therefore, great sages like Parashara Muni have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his work. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, the Lord has already explained his different energies and how they are acting. Now in this chapter, he explains his specific opulences to Arjuna. In the previous chapter, he has clearly explained his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. Again in this chapter, he tells Arjuna about his manifestations and various opulences. The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. The Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because Arjuna is very dear to him, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Puya eva mahabaho Shrinu me paramam vachaha Yasteham priyamanaya Vakshyami hitakamyaya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty aunt Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Om Agyatim Ranyasa Kananchana Salakyam Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lagaiti Karim Yat Kripatam Hamvande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Haramananda Madhavam Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that's the beginning of the 10th chapter, entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. So the Gita is a revelation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He reveals himself. He's describing himself. And as such, he describes himself fully as far a man with our mind or intellect can understand. So he describes himself, his Aishwarya, that means his opulences, his energies, his personal manifestations, and also the manifestation of his personal manifestations who become representative in this material world. They are known as vibhuti, powers or powers of energy, who have a great influence more than the tiny living entity. Therefore they're called vibhuti. They're representing the Supreme Lord. So there are two aspects of the Lord. One is the vibhuti, or the Aishwarya, the great opulences and powers of the Lord. But everyone becomes very much impressed by hearing about it from the descriptions of the Shastra and scriptures. But there's also a more, a sweet aspect of that same personality, who is very powerful, very beautiful, very opulent, very knowledgeable, very learned, very renounced. Sat, Aishwarya, Purna, the 6 opulences are all fully manifested in Krishna. Therefore, the great sages, headed by Parashara Muni, the father of Srila Vyasadeva, who was the compiler of the Vedas, Vedanta, and the Puranas and the Mahabharata, this Parashara Muni, he concluded that the full-fledged, that means the fully manifested personality of the Lord, who is not only manifested, eternal in this form, is Krishna. He is always Sat Aishwarya Purna, full of the 6 opulences. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yasasa, Shriya, Jnana Vairagyaschaiva. So these are the 6 opulences, beginning with Krishna's how is it called? Virya. Virya, his most powerful, his most beautiful, Shriya, his most famous, Yasya, and he is most renounced, Vairagya, he is most knowledgeable, Virasya, and he is this is the 6th one. What? Most beautiful, of course, most beautiful. So Krishna has all these opulences in full, and therefore this beauty aspect, sweetness aspect of his Leela is also an aspect of Krishna, who is very much dear to his devotees. So the devotees, they appreciate both aspects, the Bhagavan aspect with all his powers and manifestations in this creation, and also the sweetness aspect although they prefer the sweetness aspect. But still, one should not jump over the process. First, before we can love Krishna, we have to understand who Krishna is. And therefore the Shastras like Srimad Bhagavatam and also here Krishna gives the process that first we have to understand who Krishna is in his opulences, in his Aishwarya. Because if we then don't understand Krishna, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nobody is greater than him, nobody can compete with him. He's Asama Urdhva. Nobody is even similar to him, even of the great demigods or powerful sages in this universe. Nobody can be even nearly as great as Krishna himself. So therefore, one should not think, oh, I can ignore this opulent aspect of the Lord and immediately jump over and go to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam of the sweet aspect. So this is not completely the process. First we have, if we want to meditate about Krishna, about the deity form, you don't start with his face. You don't look directly in his face in the beginning. Of course, we are all mostly attracted to the face of Krishna, because the face of Krishna is very charming, is very nice smile, nice eyes, nice glance. Everything becomes manifested by that face. So the face of the Lord is considered more charming than his body. Madhuram madhuram vapurasya vivo, madhuram madhuram vadanam madhuram, madhugandhi mridos mitameta dahor, madhuram 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 madhuram. Great poet Bilwamangala Thakur in his Krishna Kanamrita, he says Krishna's body is very, very sweet. He's considered like a Cupid, like the new Cupid. Sometimes one thinks, I have to ornament Krishna and dress him nicely to make him more beautiful. But actually it is not like that. It's not that the dress and the decorations make Krishna beautiful. No, because Krishna is already most beautiful. So therefore if you decorate him with nice dress, with nice shringar, with nice ornaments, that means this dress and ornaments become beautified. And the devotee who is engaging in this service try to make Krishna nicely decorated in his full beauty, then the devotee becomes more beautified. That's our process. We are all zeros. But if you have one before the zero, then every zero gets important. Otherwise you can have millions of zeros, still you're not a millionaire. You are still a zero. But if you have the one in front, then every zero is very, very important, makes a lot of difference. So all the qualities a person may possess, or opulences he may possess in this material world, beauty, money, riches, fame, knowledge, it's all zero if we don't have attraction to Krishna. So that's the ultimate purpose of the Vedic literatures, to make us aware about that there is a personality, the Supreme Personality, who is the origin of everything. We are all manifested from Him, we belong to Him, but unfortunately we have forgotten Him since time immemorial, turning our face against Him, try to make our own fortune, and therefore the material world is existing, this Maya is existing for the pleasure of the souls, hankering for sense gratification, enjoying his own senses, his own beauty, or beauty of others, temporary beauty, or knowledge, or fame. and so on, or opulences, money, nice result. But this is all temporary. This is all Maya. That what is not existing, it's illusory. So the beauty and the opulence and the power behind everything what we consider important and attractive in this world is actually Krishna. He's the supreme attractive one. He's a supreme artist. So he created this whole material manifestation, this whole material world. And it's actually very beautiful. Material world is not ugly. We make it ugly due to our karma, big karma, sinful activity, selfish activity. We are exploiting the material nature. But the material nature itself is a manifestation of the Lord. Because there's nothing exists that is not coming from Him and is therefore related to Him. Therefore, if we enjoy this material world without seeing any relationship with the Lord and become grateful and therefore surrender directly to the Lord and see everything in relation to Him, we're actually all sinners. We're all thieves, exploiting the material nature for our own sense gratification. Therefore, you're a thief. Nothing belongs to us. That something belongs to me is an illusion. It's egoism. Everything belongs to the Lord. And therefore, everything, the devotee who becomes aware about that, he learns on the direction of the Lord in the scriptures and the spiritual master and the devotees how to serve the Lord, how to engage everything in the service of the Lord for His satisfaction. So that's the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, that's the purpose of all the Vedic literature, to wake us up, to reminding us we are not the enjoyers, we are not the doers. The family life or material life is not everything. It's not the one life and then everything is finished. No, this life is an opportunity, especially the human form of life is an opportunity that we can use it to engage in devotional service to Krishna. And therefore we have to start to meditate about Krishna's lotus feet, not directly about His beautiful face. Although His face is most sweet, His body is sweet. Madhuram vapurasya vibo, maduram vadanam maduram. His face is more sweet, and his smile, smita aho, his smile is even still more sweet. Madhuram vapurasya vibo, maduram vadanam maduram madugandhi merido smitat etat aho maduram. So sweet. But the materialist who has a jaundice disease, who cannot taste sweet, they don't find this sweetness. They cannot taste the sweetness of Krishna's body, of Krishna's face, of Krishna's smile. Therefore, they have to first maybe understand who Krishna is, about His opulences, about His powers, and that He actually is present everywhere as a super soul, and everything is manifested by Him. There's nothing without His. He's the source of everything, and that's the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter describing Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Mattaksvam Pavartate. I am the 10th chapter, text 7. I am the source of everything. But unintelligent don't understand. Only those who are Buddhya, those who are intelligent, they can understand this. They can accept this fact, and therefore to surrender. They surrender to the Lord. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pravartate iti matva pachanti mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. They surrender unto me. Others will not. They challenge, they like to ignore or even kill the Lord. Or try to completely live without Him. He's dead, He's never existing. And so in this way they create their own misfortune. So we cannot be happy ultimately without God consciousness, and especially Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is the source of all happiness, but only devotee can accept, he can understand, because he is surrendered to Krishna, he has the faith. He's not only surrendering to Krishna out of fear, because many sometimes surrender to God because out of a need of something. I need money, I need bread, I'm hungry, I'm in anxiety, I'm in difficulty, therefore they approach Him. I like knowledge, I'm curious, they approach. But this is still with some motivation. But if we further advance in the Bhakti Yoga, then we will not only surrender to the Lord out of fear of punishment, that I may become punished if I go on in my way of life, or fear that I have to take birth again, maybe in a lower species of life, that I will not attain, or a fear that I will not attain liberation. So many fears, and therefore we are approaching the Lord. But fear is stress. One becomes tight, one becomes not relaxed, one becomes very stiff. And so many times we cannot even think about Krishna's Leela, because we are too much overpowered by so much anxieties and fears. And ultimately, because Krishna is most sweet, most beautiful, the most merciful, most kind, very affectionate to his devotee. Therefore, Krishna ultimately, only if he wants to create in the devotee fearlessness, because only if the devotee becomes akuto bhayam, free of the fear of Krishna, of his powers, of his or that he will punish us, or that we become condemned, then we can actually love him. Then we actually can understand him. And because Arjuna was such a dear devotee, he was priyosime, or as they pointed out here, priyamanaya. Priya means very dear. So the devotee, like Arjuna, is very, very dear to Krishna, because he fully surrendered to Krishna. Had a very friendly, intimate relationship. And that's why Krishna revealed himself to Arjuna and gave him this understanding about him. To non-devotees, Krishna will not reveal himself, because they anyway don't surrender. But still he is so merciful that he reveals himself through his devotees. And he tells them, you tell everyone, about me. And in this way declare, the glories of the Bhakti Yoga process with the victory flag. Like Arjuna was a warrior. And the warrior, they want to, swing the victory flag, a victory of the winners, victorious above the battle. But actually, the real victory, is if we can attract Krishna, or love to Krishna. This is victory. And that the only way is through bhakti. Bhakti aham ekaha graya. Only through bhakti we can actually attract Krishna and conquer him. Krishna is unconquerable, and he becomes conquered by the bhakti, or loving devotion of his devotee. And then Krishna is so kind. He is giving this devotee everything what he desires. And he knows his devotee doesn't want to have opulences, he doesn't want to have a kingdom, he doesn't want to have even liberation, he doesn't want to have a success in material life, he doesn't want to merge in the Brahman, because it is considered hellish for a devotee. He doesn't want to attain heavenly planets. So what the Lord can give him, the Lord ultimately then gives himself to that devotee. And he gives him everything what he actually needs, even material things, spiritual opulences. Because if Krishna sees that my devotee is steady, that he will not fall in Maya, if he has a certain opulence, a certain knowledge, that he deals properly with it, then he is able to give more and more to his devotee. So Krishna here, to Arjuna, he reveals this knowledge more confidential. The last confidential chapter, 9th chapter, is actually considered most confidential because the most confidential verse is described in the end. Manmana bhava mat bhakto, text 34, yesterday's verse. Mat yachimam namaskaru. Ameva jyasi yuktvayam atmanam mat parayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Be completely absorbed in me. Surely, in this way you will come to me. This is most confidential. And now in the 10th chapter, Krishna continues with on the basis of this most confidential verse to explain this most confidential knowledge more further, glorifies the glories of bhakti and the glories of his devotees who are engaging in the process of hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna in the process of bhakti yoga. So today is Advaita Acharya's appearance day. I also wanted to say something about the glories of Advaita Acharya. Advaita means he's not different from the Lord. He's the Lord himself. He's an incarnation of Hari and Hara. Hari is Narayana and Hara is Lord Shiva. So Hari and Hara combine together, and so in this way they become Hari Hara. In Mayapur there's one deity called Hari Hara in Navadvip. One side is white from the face, other one is black. Very sympathetic for the punks. Because they like this black and the white. Or white, black. Or hair, black, white, here. So that's Hari Hara. Lord Narayana and Lord Shiva combined. They come Advaita, not different. And Acharya, it means he's a teacher, he's a guru. He had his own school, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita school, established in Shantipur and also one in Navadvip, in Mayapur. Later on, where the birthplace was of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was very learned in all the scriptures. He studied scriptures scrutinizingly. Of course, because he is Narayana and he is Shiva, they are anyway the most knowledgeable. And therefore, his knowledge is anyway in him. But still, he also studied the knowledge, because he don't want to say or proclaim, if the people ask him, from where you have your knowledge? And many modern yogis say, it became revealed to me, or it is my eternal knowledge, it is self-manifested. But an Acharya is not like that. An Acharya always shows a disciplic succession. A line of a school where he has his teachings from, his knowledge from. Because he's Acharya. He cannot say, oh, this is my opinion, this is my revelation, this is my realization. He has to prove it on the basis of Shastra, the scriptures. And therefore, Advaita Acharya, although the Vedas are fully in himself, he also studied the Vedas and teach the Vedas to many students. He had many students, like that is described. Like Bhrigu Muni has many students, thousands of students. Advaita Acharya has many students, many persons who came to him to learn from him. So Advaita Acharya, he was an Acharya, a teacher of the transcendental science of Bhakti. And he also has all the other branches of the Vedas. He appeared 52 years before Lord Chaitanya. It means when Lord Chaitanya appeared, 1486, Advaita Acharya was already 52 years old. It means he was already quite senior. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya, when he took birth, actually he came, he always told, I came because of Nada's call. He always called Advaita Acharya Nada. Another name of Advaita, Nada. Because Nada called me. I was sleeping on the milk ocean peacefully in my yoga nidra. But then suddenly this cry of my Nada woke me up from my mystic divine slumber. And what he was calling for, he called, he asked me, requested me, please, my dear Lord, you have to come. Although he was the Lord himself, he was Ishvara himself, Advaita Acharya. And therefore he had the power to attract the Supreme Ishvara, Krishna, Satchitananda Parama Krishna, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchitananda Vigraha. So he called him down, please you come to establish the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. Please come. I'm not able to do it myself. And because of the loud call, Lord Chaitanya proclaimed again and again, I have come, because of Advaita Acharya's call. Not with telephone, not with Skype. He called him, with his loud voice, with his devotional loud voice. He was worshipping Shalagram Shila with Ganga water and Tulsi Manjaris. Because scriptures say one can please the Lord if he worships Shalagram Shila, who is representing Lord Narayana, with Ganga water and Tulasi. That's Tadya. That's most merciful. The most easiest and surest way that the Lord reveals himself and becomes pleased with the devotee. So the Lord Chaitanya appeared. Advaita Acharya was already 52 years old. One time, because Advaita Acharya was very senior, 52, and Lord Chaitanya, when he started the Sankirtan movement, he was maybe 16, 18, 20 years old. That means in that time Advaita Acharya was already 70. Therefore I always see him with long white hair and beard, like that. I could say like a Baba here in Vrindavan. Baba, very, very sagely, saintly personality. And he was a householder. Sita was his wife. Sita Thakurani. And Sri Thakurani had actually two wives, but Sita was the main one. Sri was co-wife. Sita was like the goddess of fortune. And she was very good cook. And she was a very saintly personality herself. So Advaita Acharya because of seniority, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always respected him, because Advaita Acharya was initiated by Madhavendra Puri, who was the guru of Lord Chaitanya's guru. Even Lord Chaitanya accepted guru. Advaita Acharya accepted guru, although they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They showed the world, as world teachers, how one have to accept shelter in a spiritual master to receive this Vedic knowledge. So, and Lord Chaitanya, therefore, he always respected Advaita Acharya as senior devotee, who's greatly advanced personality. And again, he always offered him his respect. And this Advaita Acharya didn't like that at all. Because Advaita Acharya, he considered himself, I'm a servant. I'm proud to be a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Nityananda Prabhu said, I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Ananta Shesh said, I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Srivas Thakur, all the great personalities, they proclaimed and said, I'm not God, I'm the servant of the Supreme Lord. Sri Chaitanya Ishvara. I'm the servant of him. That's the greatest wealth. That's the greatest happiness. To actually be God is not a great happiness. Everyone wants to be God. He wants to be a controller. But we should understand, to become a controller is actually a curse. Because you have automatically so many enemies if you become controller. You get so many enemies who want to get rid of you. Therefore you're in constant anxiety, Therefore please, better don't try to be God. Because there's always somebody who wants to be competition with you and try to conquer you and become better than you. Don't become an Ishvara, become a servant. The servant status, dasa, is such a great that even Krishna himself desired to become a servant. He didn't want to stay Ishvara. Although, of course, he's always Ishvara. He remains in his Ishvara or in his supreme position. But at the same time, he wanted to become the servant of his own. Because he always wondered, why my devotees always relish the sweetness of my toe on my lotus feet? Because what is so sweet there? So Lord Chaitanya Krishna wondered, why my devotees always are like honeybees, always around my lotus feet, my feet? What kind of sweetness they relish there? And because Lord Krishna wanted to relish himself, how a devotee feels, in his love he feels to Krishna, he himself took the position of a devotee so that he could relish the sweetness of Krishna consciousness, to be a servant of Krishna. So therefore Advaita Acharya, although he is Hari and Hara, they're both Ishvara, and not different from the Lord. So he came as a devotee to relish Krishna Bhakti. And therefore he was constantly absorbed in Bhakti process, in loving ecstasy, crying, chanting, dancing, studying the scriptures with other devotees who have a similar interest to learn this Bhakti cult. So he accepted them and teach them Bhakti process. But he could not stand. Why Lord Chaitanya, my master, always offers his obeisance to me and glorifies me? I cannot stand it. And therefore Lord Advaita Acharya thought, I have to make a trick. I have to trick my Lord. And so how to trick him? He knew exactly. He was very clever. I know how to trick him. I will teach something else than Bhakti as supreme. So he started to, instead of teaching Bhakti, he started to teach Gyan, that knowledge is the supreme. Because without knowledge you cannot understand anything. You have a very, very nice mirror, but if you have no eyes, you cannot see yourself. Therefore, he told, Gyan is like the eyes, and you, yourself, or also the Lord, and your relationship with Him is like a mirror. So therefore, to have a relationship between the Lord and yourself, you need the Gyan first. So he started to teach Gyan above, superior to Bhakti. Or the Bhakti is dependent on Gyan. And this was, of course, completely opposite of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. But it was a trick. So when Lord Chaitanya heard about that, he became very angry. So Advaita Acharya became successful in his attempt that he wanted to see. He wanted to see that his Lord becomes angry and chastises Advaita Acharya. Because if somebody chastises me, that means he is superior to me, he is my teacher, he is my boss, and I am his servant. So he chastises me. He has the right, because I belong to him. He can do with me whatever he likes. So when Lord Chaitanya heard that, he became very angry. So he went to Advaita Acharya's house one day, and he held him on like that, and he slapped him on the face. Acharya, what I have heard? You're teaching Yoga Vasishta, some Gyan, superior to Bhakti. Lord Chaitanya so angry, he became smashed and slapped Advaita. And Advaita Acharya started to dance in ecstasy. Mother Sita, she became a little afraid. Oh, Lord Chaitanya, don't smash this old man. You see, don't see his old man. Don't smash him, don't kill him. And Advaita said, you foolish wife. Go away, no. Now finally the Lord accepted me as that I'm his servant, that he is my master. Then when Lord Chaitanya heard about that, he felt very ashamed and he felt, oh, now Advaita Acharya tricked me. But still, Lord Chaitanya told, Advaita, you have to promise me from now on, never teach Gyan superior or dependent on Bhakti. Don't promise me this. Don't teach this. Don't misguide the people. Only give them Bhakti directly, because Bhakti is not dependent on Jnana or Karma or mystical yoga. Bhakti is perfect in itself. All other processes that they become somehow other perfect or somehow appear some nice result, spiritual result, are dependent on Bhakti. But Bhakti is not dependent on Jnana. It's not dependent on yoga, on mystical yoga process. You have to promise me that. So anyway, Advaita, he was very happy. Lord Chaitanya accepted me as his servant. Of course, Lord Chaitanya still always accepted Advaita Acharya. Later on in Jagannath-puri, after Lord Chaitanya accepted sannyas, he one time asked Srivas Thakur, because every year the Bengali Vaishnavas, they came to Mayapur to see to Jagannath-puri to see Lord Chaitanya there, and they was always they were very happy to always see Lord Chaitanya. So Advaita came there, Srivas, Gadadhar, hundreds of devotees came to see Lord Chaitanya. They were in great separation. We were very happy to see Lord Chaitanya. So one time, Lord Chaitanya asked Srivas Thakur in his house, you know who is Advaita Acharya? You know who is? And Srivas Thakur said, yes, he's like Shukadev Goswami and Prahlad Maharaj. Then Lord Chaitanya, he became very angry. He said, how is it possible to blaspheme Advaita Acharya, to exemplify him? to equalize him with Shukadev and Prahlad. Shukadev and Prahlad, they are just children in comparison with him. They're his juniors. He's the Lord himself. He's Nada, he's my Nada, and only because of him I'm here, because he called me down. You understand this? So Lord Chaitanya, he was very angry with Srivas Thakur. How he can tell Advaita Acharya to say that he is like Shukadev or Prahlad. They are juniors in comparison with him. Another time, Advaita Acharya, he also wanted to make a trick. He had this power, because he's the Lord himself. Because Lord Chaitanya was invited by different grihastas in their houses for lunch in Jagannath-puri. But and whenever Lord Chaitanya visited a grihasta's house, also all his sannyasi followers, they went with him. About 7 or 8 or more of them, they went with him. But Advaita thought, I have the desire that only Lord Chaitanya will come alone to my house, that I can feed him. I want to offer him the best prasad, the best food. Because Advaita Acharya, he was a very good cook. His wife, Sita Thakurani, she was very good cook. And they together, they make these wonderful preparations. Saag, rice, all these Bengali favorite preparations of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And on that day, because Advaita Acharya is very powerful, suddenly the weather changed in Puri. And there was hail, there was storm, rain, non-stop rain, torrents of rain, hurricane, everywhere, all over the city. Only on Advaita Acharya's house was only little rain. Therefore, all the sannyasis, when they wanted to go out of the house, to go to Advaita Acharya's house to meet Lord Chaitanya there, to go with him to take lunch, they could not go out of the house because there was so much storm and rain and hail. So they had all to stay at home. And Advaita Acharya was very happy because Lord Chaitanya came alone. He came alone. Then Advaita Acharya, he offered his obeisances and his prayers for the glories of Indra, who sent all the rain and storm. He glorified him. Thank you very much, Indra Dev. That was a very nice service that you did, because now my Lord came alone, as I wish, that he comes alone and takes prasadam for me. That was Advaita Acharya's wish. But then Lord Chaitanya heard, why are you glorifying Indra? Why are you glorifying Indra? He's insignificant. You are Ishvara yourself. That was all your power. Because of you, this weather completely changed in this season, time of season. Because in this time we never have rain and storm. Only you arranged that, so that because you desired that I come alone. So there was a transcendental sweetness of relationship between Advaita and Lord Chaitanya. Another story, short story. One time Advaita Acharya came to Lord Chaitanya, to his house where he stayed, at Gambhira, in Puri. Lord Chaitanya was very happy. Oh, Advaita Acharya, from where you come from? What you did today? He asked him. So Advaita told, I just come from darshan of Jagannath. What you did? What you did in the Jagannath Mandir, in the darshan? So yeah, I circumambulated the altar and the temple about 5 or 7 times, because it's recommended to circumambulate the Krishna temple minimum 3, 4, 5 or 7 times. Therefore, Prabhupada also, you see, in the morning, he always goes around and devotees are following him. That's an old custom. You should not go one time around. One time around the Vishnu or Krishna temple is inauspicious. All your spiritual results become destroyed. So we have to go minimum 3 times, or even 4 times, or 7 times around a Krishna temple. A sun god temple, you also go 7 times around. A Devi temple, you go 1 time. Shiva temple, how many times? Half time. Therefore, if you go to Gopeshwar Mahadev temple, you don't go around like that. You go half and then go back again. You see? There's a border. Don't cross this border. You go only half parikram and parikram like that. So on this, you only make half parikrama, never a whole. Otherwise, you don't have the same result, the spiritual result. So Krishna temple, 3, 4, and Advaita Acharya even went 5, 7 times around the deity. What Lord Chaitanya said? Oh Prabhu, I defeated you. You go around 5 or 7 times around the deity. That means many times you don't see his face. You see, many times you only see him from the back, or you don't see him at all. But for me, Krishna is so attractive. I never can leave this association and view darshan of seeing his face. Therefore, I never circumambulate him. I always stay directly in front of him. Therefore, I defeated you. Because Advaita Acharya went always a few times around, And sometimes we go around like a bumblebee, like a fly. But actually we should do it with concentration, with consciousness about Krishna, chanting the holy name for service, because it's also tadya, or it's actually padasevanam. The service to Krishna's lotus feet is circumambulating the temple. It's an anga of devotional service. But the purpose of that is actually to become attracted to Krishna. Because we don't have the attention like Lord Chaitanya. Advaita Acharya said, only you can say this, my dear Lord. Nobody else in this world can stay non-stop before the deity and look in his face and become attracted to it. Therefore, for the ordinary devotees, we have to go around and have different kinds of activities related for the pleasure of Krishna. 64 angas of devotional service. Because we cannot non-stop absorb in samadhi about Krishna's beauty. Advaita Acharya one time in Navadvip wanted to see universal form. Like Arjuna, so. It was in Srivas Thakur's house, Srivas Angam. So Lord Chaitanya came there every day. And Advaita, he had his house, Srivas Advaita Bhavan, just nearby. So Advaita Acharya came to Srivas Thakur's house. Lord Chaitanya said, Dear Advaita, what is your wish? What is your desire? Actually, he told him this several times. Ask him. But two very important leelas in connection with that. The first one is, Advaita Acharya says, my dear Lord, I know you revealed the universal form to Arjuna. So please, reveal this same form I would like to see as Arjuna has seen it. Then Lord Chaitanya said, okay, so be it. Then first he manifested the four arms of Lord Narayana, and then suddenly he manifested the universal form. Only Advaita Acharya could see with his eyes. Nityananda Avadut. He just was roaming around in Navadvip, always in search, in ecstasy for Krishna. and an ecstasy of Lord Chaitanya. So he came to the house, and he knocked on the door because he knew something extraordinary happened behind the door. So he knocked and practically broke open the door and entered in. And to his amazement, he also saw this universal form, and Advaita Acharya sitting there, with wide eyes and mouth, seeing this glaring form of the Lord with thousands of heads and mouths, and how all everything is manifested from him, maintained by him, and ultimately again annihilated. And Advaita asked him, Avadhuta, why are you disturbing us here? You just break in, like a thief. They have mock fights together, Advaita and Nityananda Prabhu. Mock fight, mock arguments, And Advaita says, what you are doing here? Always disturbing and coming in like a thief. Who are you? I don't know actually who you are, in which caste you belong, What you eat, what you drink, and with whom you associate, it's very strange, and you're staying here, visiting every day in this Brahmana's house, first class Brahmana's house, Srivas Thakur. The Nityananda, he became very challenging, saying, and who are you? You're just an attached grihasta to family life, smarta, to your smarta, attached to your smarta rules. And so in this way, they started to challenge each other. Vrindavan Das Thakur says, don't take sides of Nityananda or Advaita if they make argument, if they argue like that. You should not take any side and think that one is right and the other one is wrong, because both of them are right. Because it's a transcendental relationship of competition and arguments. They relish that, on the spiritual platform. Another time, Lord Chaitanya asked Advaita Acharya, what is your desire? Because after all, you called me down. What is your wish? What can I do for your pleasure? Why you called me? Why you actually called me? You must have to have a purpose. So Advaita Acharya said, I actually called you. No. Because I know only you can deliver all the living entities from their sin and give them Krishna Prem and shelter at your lotus feet. Please, therefore my desire is, give them, bestow everyone this Krishna Prem. Don't be partial. Don't only give it to the Brahmins. Don't only give this Krishna Prem to the Suchis or to the pious person, Sukritinas. Give it also to the Dushkritinas. Give it also to the Papas, to the most sinful ones. Don't be partial in distributing love of Godhead. Give it to everyone. And then Lord Chaitanya jubilated and said, yes, so be it. Everyone will get. What is your next desire? Then Advaita Acharya says, and everyone who is envious on your devotees, only they should become bereft of that love or opportunity of loving devotional ecstasy and devotional service to you. And then also Lord Chaitanya granted that, yes. Those who are envious on my devotees, they will not get the Krishna Prema. And he proved this with his own mother. Advaita Acharya, Lord Chaitanya had a very affectionate mother, Sachimata. She was like the universal mother, like mother Yashoda to Krishna. Very caring, very loving. But she was very upset about Advaita Acharya. Why? Because of his school. Her one son, the elder son, Vishwarup, went to the school of Advaita Acharya. And later on, with 12 years, Vishwarupa accepted sannyas. And this was very hard, of course, for parents, for a mother. If a son leaves and takes sannyas, never coming back, that's like dead. Social suicide. So Mother Sachi, she became very sad and she started to offend or speak harshly against Advaita Acharya and said, that's only because of influence of Advaita Acharya, and I don't want that my other son, Nimai, will go to his school. Otherwise he also will influence him and he will take sannyas, and that will certainly kill me. That will kill me. So therefore Lord Chaitanya, he knew about that. And then he distributed love of Godhead to everyone, to all his associates. Everyone asked, why not Mother Sachi? Why not Mother Sachi? She's your own mother, your own dear relative. And Lord Chaitanya thought, because she's offender. She offended Advaita Acharya. She spoke negative against him. Therefore she cannot attain Krishna Prema. And Advaita Acharya heard about that. And also Mother Sachi. She was very anxious, very crying, and Advaita Acharya, he felt very much ashamed, very bad, and he fainted in ecstasy and fell to the feet of Sachi Mata and thought, there's no offense of Mother Sachi. She is the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of Lord Chaitanya. How can she be offending me? No. So I take the dust from her. And he fainted to the ground. And Lord Chaitanya gave a sign to his mother. Touch his feet, touch his feet. Touch the feet of Advaita Acharya. And then the Mother Sachi, she dropped down, touched the feet of Advaita Acharya and put it on her head. And Lord Chaitanya said, so now your offenses are gone, because you touched the feet of Advaita Acharya. That's the perfection. So anyway, there's so many stories, time is progressing. I stop here.